Hello everybody, thank you for being with me again in John Talk. This is the video number 7. A few videos before, you always know that the type of video that I do is to a line of thought that can bring you to a different sphere of understanding the metaphysics, the quantum idea of how to live a life with the pleasure, with the understanding of your whole situation, that you can feel comfortable, that you can feel important, and that you get up out of the bed with that sense of, today I'm going to accomplish my best. I'm open to all good in my life. And in doing so, you are about to hear a true story that happened with me some years ago. The scenario was a horse farm here in Londrina, and I was on this horse farm just to be getting some refreshment of energy. Countryside, beautiful horses, and here was John Alexander getting himself all empowered by nature and by the idea of having the horses by my side. I don't know if I have mentioned before, but I used to be a horse breeder. And I was there on a horse farm just to help a friend of mine. And this friend of mine had or have a son and 2 daughters. At that time, his son was around maybe 24, 25 years old, a youngster full of strength, and he enjoyed riding cars, fast cars. Can you imagine? Well, what happened? 2 situations at the same time. I spoke about the youngster with a brand new car, a fast car, and a horse, beautiful stallion, young, around 3 years old, which is the prime for horses to be schooled. But this horse had a little problem with his hind leg, one of them. And when he was on a stable, he couldn't stop and relax. For some reason, he had some problem with his hind leg. I don't recall now if it was the left or the right one. But anyway, he used to pace around the stable for too long. He would burn too much energy just going around. And if he would be stopped, his hind leg probably will hurt him a lot. So here, a situation. A young horse with a physical problem, a youngster with a very fast, brand new car. 2 situations. On this farm, so many other horses will be on a paddock, and we had a group of kids, youngsters, that would do the basic of cleaning, brushing, fixing the roofs, the mane. They wash the horses, feed them, and so on. Nice pasture, beautiful rolling grass. But then we had this problem with this very special breed of horse. He was a, what we call in Brazil, Lusitano, which is from a stock from Portugal. It's the same breed stock that generate the Andalusians. Andalusians and Lusitano, they are cousins. A little bit difference on their body shape, but they are pretty much like that. And they are, this one specifically, is the one that have some refinement. His front was straight, was not like curved like so many other horses from Europe, okay? So he had a very nice straight bone in the nose. He had that little problem of holding his leg like this. He couldn't stop still and relax. He somehow had a problem. And the guy came in, the owner of the farm, which was my friend, he came in here and said, well, next week, around Monday, a doctor, a veterinarian doctor, will come and take a look at the horse. We all got prepared for the doctor to come in, and eventually take a look on a horse, and decide what to do with a purebred, very expensive horse. I had a house on a farm, and this house was totally fenced in with a chicken wire type, but very thick, because on the premise we had a very amount of chickens, wild African chickens that would go all over the place. And that chickens was left by itself because they are specific eaters of some little bugs that would go into the grass and make the grass with some smell or some taste that the horses would not like it. So that African chickens would go all over the place. And for not to come into the porch or inside the house, we would fence in, and on the same fencing place beside of my house, I had my garage where my van used to be there. But beside of that, we used to have a young dog. Have you heard about a dog, an Italian breed called Cane Corso? He was just adorable. I will put a picture so you will see it. He was like a aluminum type or grayish color or steel color with green eyes. Very, very strong animal. When he would bark, he would shake the whole house. And he used to live on the little garage that I had on the side, fenced in with the locking, so because we don't want him to go out by himself. He was a young dog, and so he had to be kept at least at night. So we have a three situation right here. A very peppy young man with a brand new fast car, imported car, very expensive, a purebred horse that needs some medical attention, and a young puppy, also very, very, very special, an imported breeded dog from Italy. Now friend, as I mentioned before, around 3 o'clock in the morning, I have a tendency to get up, do my prayers, and meditate. 3 o'clock in the morning. I do this with a certain amount of consistency, unless I'm working too much on the computer and I get a little bit tired, and then I leave for the next day. But normally around 3 o'clock from Monday to Monday, I will do that. Independent if it's a Saturday or Monday or Sunday, whatever. 3 o'clock in the morning, somehow I get up, I am capable to do my meditation and my prayers and so on. Now watch this. One day, it was a summertime, kind of a hot in here in Brazil. I went out on a porch to just plain be by myself and do some meditation, watching the night, and there was a light poles on the road that would go to the stables. Maybe what? Meter-wise, I would say 50 yards maybe? Yeah, something like that. 50 to 60 to 80 yards. Around that measure. And there is a light post right there which will give me a very clean look at the whole area with the fences, with some horses on grassing, and the stallions would be put into the paddock. I mentioned that we had like a fenced in, locked in around my house. The dog on the garage. I looked from my right hand side, I saw 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 individuals coming in. I didn't get scared for it because one of the men was the owner of the horse farm, which was my friend. I was standing up on a porch and I look at it, here comes 3 individuals, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I didn't get scared because one of them was the owner of the horse farm. So I turned around and grabbed a plastic chair. And when I turned back, the 3 individuals was right in front of me. First, the dog didn't bark, which was very unusual. I was by myself. The dog didn't bark. Second, how they came in through the fence, which was locked. Can you explain that? No, you cannot. But that is the way it happened. So here I am, 3 o'clock in the morning, facing 3 individuals, and thank God one was the owner of the farm, and then the owner of the farm introduced the 2 other ones. Now I would describe this gentleman. One of them was a little taller than I am. He was dressing a kind of a sandy type color shirt and pants, and a hat like the old timers, not cowboy type, just plain hat, kind of a slim face, I presume around 50 years old, maybe 50 to 60, very slim, very nicely matched. And the other one was a little shorter, almost my height, also with a hat on, and pretty much the same type of a clothes. So, friendly as I am, I introduced myself, and this gentleman said his name, and I only will say his surname, Arantes do Nascimento. For some of you, just remembering, we used to have a soccer player in Brazil, famous all over the world, which is nicknamed Pelé, but his full name was Edson Arantes do Nascimento. You see the coincidence of the same surname? And when I say, oh, Arantes do Nascimento, and when I was going to say, oh, I know somebody with this name, this gentleman put himself straight, has nothing to do with it. Then, I don't know why, of course, Pelé was a African Brazilian person. And this one, having the same surname, but he was a European type Caucasian. So you see, he could look at me, has nothing to do with it. I said, okay. So he started talking about the relationship with the horse. He paid attention to it. He said, don't make the synergy on the hind leg of this horse, because he is a jumper, and he can be very, very special and dressage and high level of what they call the school of the horse stepping and jumping and so on and so forth. Like the type horses, you know, the Vienna type horses, the white ones, very proper, very realistic, or he was a special horse anyway. And he said another thing. The son of a doctor, which had also a brand new imported car, also with his car full of youngster. In other words, 4 in one car and 4 on the other car. And since it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, they paired the cars together, and they make a takeoff to see which car was more fast. Well, I know the place where they went, and I knew they have like a very strong curve. What I know was, I don't know which one was that hit one car to the other one, and both cars fell on the hill and tumbled. Friends, 2 cars, brand new cars, imported one, very, very expensive. 4 youngsters inside of each car got crashed, one in each other, and went into the hill and tumbled God knows how many times. The idea was that in all the 2 cars, taking a minor scratch, I presume they were wearing seat belt, nobody got hurt or had any problem with breaking bones or getting themselves very bad. I understand the 2 cars was a complete wreck. Nothing you can do about it. Friends, how can this be? 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 individuals come to me and specifically gives me a order, which I followed to the line. I pray for the youngster, but this prayer, watch this, this prayer, which came in from the idea of protection, protected also the other boys that was in the other car. I presume the car had a insurance, so eventually they will be covered by their problem. And physically, nobody got hurt, which was a release. Oh, you don't know how much this man was grateful when I told him about what happened. And this gentleman, he had an open mind to understand what I was telling him and the way I told him. And now the problem with the horse. I spoke to him and told him what was going on with the horse. They didn't make through with the surgery on the horse. But as the time went by, even knowing that I told them, please do not nurture the horse because he was a very important stallion, and you can breed him, giving them a very, I would say, great offsprings, but it didn't work out. Eventually, I understood. He told me few years later, that he had to nurture the horse. And then I said, wow, and he said, oh, don't worry, John. I collected lots of semen and is on safeguarded inside of a little jars on a deep freeze type situation. And he said, I'm gonna give to you one of those semen so you can mate with a mare of your choice. I said, oh, I'm grateful. I didn't use that semen even today. And the time passed by. The youngster today is married, had already sons and daughter. Apparently everything just fine. And this horse became a champion jumper, and he was sold for a certain amount of money that apparently was quite a bit of money. So what do you take on this type of experience that I am telling you from my heart? And you be definitely sure that I'm telling you exactly the way it happened. No adding, no taking. Be with me. If you like this kind of a video, please click like, click the subscribe button, and be ready to have more John Talk experiences. And as I said before, I have quite a few unusual ones for sure, but all the time a true concept of interaction with a line of thinking beyond human, beyond the man in God's image and likeness, like me, like you. So thank you so much for being with me, and please do subscribe and tell people that you love to do the same and watch the videos. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a good time. As I said all the time, have a good time. See you.